Ole Miss going to Alabama. And we talked about this when we talked about the spread. This is the spread on Wednesday. This is a Lane Kiffin team that has taken on his personality. And now the guy, Mike Wilbon's done and, went on PTI and thrown gasoline on the fire and got Lane all pissed off before the game even starts. So I think this is an Ole Miss team that is very, very excited for this opportunity. It's hard for me, TK, to tell, who is this a revenge game for? Is this a revenge game for Ole Miss letting one go away last year? Or is Nick Saban and his, perfectionist mind, is this a revenge game for him for almost letting, that Ole Miss offense embarrass them with 647 yards last year?
Yeah. This is another one. Another fun game to watch. I think this week, I think that I'd have to agree with you. Lane Kiffin and that Ole Miss team is rolling. They look and play for each other. They play for him, and you can tell. I think I mentioned it before. Just the interaction he has with his players on the sideline, you can tell that those guys love him. And I think that this week means a lot to him, and I think that it means a lot to his players because it means a lot to him. So I think they're going to come out with great effort. I think they're going to come out smoking, bro.
You like that effort enough right now, or do you think Alabama bounces back defensively after they had the questions last year defensively? This year they come in and they kind of lay an egg on terms of their run defense versus Florida, barely escaped the swamp with a victory. Do you think that Alabama defense, basically having a bye week, I mean, they played Southern Miss, do you think they've corrected some of those things, or do you think these problems that Alabama has in stopping the run and kind of some tackling issues, do you think those are more deeper issues that'll last longer into the season for Alabama?
Well, I'm not sure if they'll last, but I know that they've been talked about as of late, and they've been a big issue for Coach Saban and staff. And one thing that I'm going to keep my eye on Saturday is Matt Corrall running the ball. Obviously, that's been a success maker for a lot. Well, not a lot of folks, but folks that can do it against Coach Saban's defense. So
historically, the teams that beat Alabama under Nick Saban, they have a mobile quarterback.
Right, exactly. And Matt Corrall can run. He's sneaky. He's a sneaky little runner, I think. And he can
4 tutties against Tulane.
4 tutties. Yeah. He's sneaky, man. So I think if they can control the clock in that sense, within the run game, how they want to, once they do their thing downfield, because Coach Kiffin's going to take his shots. But once he does that, bro, I think if they can control the clock from there in a run perspective, I think that they could shock some folks.
I mean, Jerrion Ealy's going to be a big part of that. Their lead running back. He's also a dynamic pass catcher. He's got 6 receptions for 78 yards this year, but has 31 carries for 190 yards. And they've got really a 3-headed monster at running back when Jerrion Ealy, Henry Parrish, Snoop Connor, all those guys are up over 100 yards rushing already on the season. Matt Corrall, as you pointed out, has no problem, taking off and extending plays himself. They're having 10.4 yards per attempt through the air. So they're pushing the ball down the field, 12.3 air yards per attempt, 9 touchdowns, no interceptions for Matt Corrall. They're averaging 635 yards per game as a team. TK on offense. I'm worried about Alabama's ability to stop the run. I think that Lane Kiffin is going to spread out those weapons like Dontario Drummond, like Jonathan Mingo, like Braylon Sanders. Use a John Rice Plumlee in there a little bit. Have Jerrion Ealy go out empty, come back into the backfield, identify things with motions, all that kind of stuff. Lane knows how to do all that stuff. I'm going to say they spread out that Alabama defense too much, and I don't know. Bryce Young's still got to prove something to me. He's been good, but he hasn't been great. He hasn't been dominant yet. I'm gonna pick Ole Miss, TK. I'm gonna pick Ole Miss to win this game. I think it's gonna have to be high scoring. I'm gonna say Ole Miss wins this game 48 to. I'm gonna say 48 to 45. Alabama misses a field goal as they usually do.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, man. I like Bryce Young. I like what he's been doing, but I don't think it'll be enough Saturday. I'm taking Ole Miss too, man. I like Ole Miss. I think Coach Kiffin again has those guys rolling. He knows exactly how to get under Coach Saban's skin in every way. So
he's on the Feinbaum show earlier talking about Paul Feinbaum asked him, "Hey, what do y'all talk about in the middle of the field? Is those like meaningful conversations?" And Kiffin was like, "No, it's absolutely meaningless." He goes, I basically go there. How's your wife? How's your wife? You know, how are the kids? What's going on? Like he goes, nothing. He goes, what am I going to say to him, Paul? I'm going to go say, hey, we're really going to work your safety today with some double moves. You know, so he said, there's nothing really you can say. You know.
Yeah, but no, man. He knows the ins and outs of that Nick Saban defense. So he'll figure. I think he's going to figure out a way to get it done. But I'm with you. It'll be high scoring. I'm saying Ole Miss 38-35.
Yeah, and I'm going to take the over too. The over under 79 right here. I think more than 79 points get scored in this one. I just don't think either team. If Alabama does win this game, TK, if we're wrong on our pick, it will be an absolute Alabama slaughter. Like it's either going to be Ole Miss wins this thing in an exciting game, or Alabama just takes them to the woodshed, as I like to say. But TK and I are both picking Ole Miss over Alabama.